Daphne's shocking return, a wedding day nightmare on the bold and the beautiful. The dramatic landscape of The Bold and the Beautiful is set to reach unprecedented heights of tension and violence as Daphne Rose's unexpected return from France threatens to shatter the happiness that Hope Logan and Carter Walton have finally found together. What begins as a celebration of love transforms into a nightmare scenario that will forever change the lives of everyone involved, revealing the dangerous depths of obsession and the lengths some will go to prevent others from finding happiness. The calm before the storm, Hope and Carter's journey to the altar. The path to Hope and Carter's wedding has been anything but smooth, marked by misunderstandings, reconciliations, and the complex dynamics that define relationships in the Forrester universe. Recent developments have shown the couple working through their differences, with Hope accepting Carter's sudden proposal despite initial hesitations about the rapid pace of their reunion. The engagement announcement brought mixed reactions from their families, with Brooke Logan expressing joy while Ridge Forrester and Steffi Forrester Finnegan maintained skeptical attitudes about the sudden nature of their reconciliation. The wedding planning has proceeded with characteristic soap opera urgency, driven partly by external circumstances surrounding Liam Spencer's deteriorating health condition. Liam's brain cancer diagnosis has created an underlying sense of urgency for Hope, who wants to ensure that her ex-husband can witness her happiness before his condition worsens further. This medical crisis has added emotional weight to the wedding preparations, making the upcoming ceremony not just a celebration of love but also a poignant moment of closure and new beginnings. Carter's proposal itself came at a moment when their relationship seemed to be healing from the wounds inflicted by misunderstandings and the interference of third parties. The COO of Forrester Creations had to overcome Hope's lingering doubts about his commitment, particularly regarding his interactions with Daphne. The fact that Carter had a ring ready immediately after their reconciliation raised questions about the timing and authenticity of his romantic gesture, but Hope ultimately chose to trust in their connection despite these concerns. Daphne's departure and hidden intentions. The recent revelation that Daphne has returned to France appeared to close a troubling chapter in Carter and Hope's relationship. Her departure was welcomed by many who had grown suspicious of her motives and uncomfortable with her obvious interest in Carter. The French perfume researcher had made quite an impression during her time at Forrester Creations, but her professional contributions were overshadowed by the romantic complications she introduced into Carter's life. However, Daphne's character has consistently demonstrated layers of complexity that extend far beyond surface appearances. Her time at Forrester Creations was marked by subtle manipulations and strategic positioning that suggested deeper motivations than simple romantic interest. The ease with which she appeared to accept defeat and retreat to France should have been the first warning sign that her story was far from over. The psychological profile of someone willing to disrupt a wedding with violence speaks to a level of obsession and entitlement that transforms rejection into rage. Daphne's inability to accept Carter's choice represents a dangerous escalation from romantic pursuit to possessive control. Her return with a weapon indicates premeditation and a complete break from rational behavior, suggesting that her time away from Los Angeles was spent planning revenge rather than moving forward with her life. The Wedding Day Massacre, When Love Meets Violence. The wedding ceremony itself represents everything that Daphne feels has been stolen from her. The sight of Hope in a wedding dress, standing beside the man she believes should be hers, would serve as the ultimate trigger for someone already operating on the edge of sanity. The choice to target Hope rather than Carter reveals the twisted logic of blame displacement. In Daphne's mind, Hope is the obstacle to her happiness rather than Carter's own agency and choice being the determining factor. The moment when Daphne appears with a gun transforms what should be the happiest day of Hope and Carter's lives into a scene of terror and chaos. Wedding guests, expecting to witness vows of eternal love, instead find themselves confronted with the raw brutality of obsession unleashed. The contrast between the ceremonial beauty of a wedding and the stark violence of an armed assault creates a dramatic juxtaposition that epitomizes the soap opera genre's ability to blend romance with danger. Carter's heroic intervention, throwing himself between the bullet and hope, demonstrates the depth of his love and commitment in the most dramatic way possible. This act of sacrifice serves multiple narrative purposes. It proves his devotion beyond any doubt, provides the ultimate romantic gesture, and creates a moment of physical peril that raises the stakes for their relationship. The image of Carter lying in a pool of blood while his bride-to-be looks on in horror becomes a defining moment that will haunt their relationship regardless of his survival. The aftermath, justice, recovery, and lasting trauma. The swift response of security personnel and law enforcement represents the practical reality of such incidents, but the psychological aftermath extends far beyond the immediate physical consequences. Daphne's arrest marks the end of her reign of terror but also the beginning of a complex legal and emotional process for all involved. The charges she will face, attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, and disrupting a public gathering, carry serious consequences that will remove her from the Los Angeles scene permanently. Carter's survival and recovery in the hospital provides hope for the couple's future, but the trauma of such an experience inevitably changes people. The physical wounds will heal, but the emotional scars of having their wedding day marked by violence will require time and professional help to address. The fact that Carter risked his life to save hope creates a bond forged in the most extreme circumstances, potentially strengthening their relationship while also introducing elements of survivor's guilt and post-traumatic stress. The broader impact on the Forrester family and their associates cannot be understated. Witnessing such violence at what should have been a joyous occasion will affect everyone present, particularly those who may have had their own doubts about the relationship. Ridge and Steffi's previous skepticism about Hope and Carter's reunion will likely transform into protective support as they process the reality of how much the couple means to each other. Implications for future storylines. This dramatic turn of events creates numerous possibilities for future plot development. Carter's recovery period will provide opportunities for intimate moments between the couple as they process their trauma together. The question of whether they will attempt to have another wedding ceremony or consider themselves married in spirit due to their shared ordeal adds romantic complexity to their storyline. The legal proceedings against Daphne will likely continue as a background element, potentially bringing additional revelations about her past and motivations. The investigation into how she acquired the weapon and whether she had accomplices could introduce new characters or reveal previously unknown connections within the Los Angeles community. Hope's reaction to nearly losing Carter in such a violent manner will undoubtedly deepen her appreciation for their relationship while also forcing her to confront her own mortality and the fragility of happiness. The contrast between this traumatic experience and her previous romantic disappointments will provide rich material for character development as she learns to value what she has while dealing with the psychological impact of the attack. The incident will also serve as a catalyst for strengthening family bonds, as the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families rally around Hope and Carter during their recovery. Liam's reaction to the attack on his ex-wife, given his own health struggles, will add another layer of emotional complexity to an already charged situation. Next, we will dive deep into the chaotic world of the bold and the beautiful, where one man's misguided compassion has unleashed a storm that could drown all of Los Angeles in tragedy. We're talking about none other than Bill Spencer, the infamous dollar bill, whose latest decision has left jaws on the floor and hearts racing with dread. In a move that defies all logic, Bill has freed a dangerous predator from the shackles of justice, and now the streets of LA are anything but safe. Buckle up, because this is a tale of shocking decisions, deadly intentions, and a family teetering on the edge of destruction. Let's unpack the catastrophic ripple effects of Bill's actions, explore the dark mind of a killer on the loose, and question whether redemption is even possible when blood is inevitably spilled. Bill Spencer's unfathomable blunder. Let's start with the jaw-dropping moment that has every fan of The Bold and the Beautiful screaming at their screens: Bill Spencer's decision to champion the release of Luna Nozawa, a woman with a rap sheet that reads like a horror novel. Luna isn't just a troubled soul who took a wrong turn, she's a cold-blooded murderer who ended the lives of Tom Starr and Hollis with chilling precision. On top of that, she held Steffi Forrester captive in a twisted game of control. Yet, somehow, Bill, known for his ruthless business tactics and ironclad demeanor, allowed his heart to override his head. During a prison visit, he noticed bruises on Luna, and instead of seeing a calculated manipulator, he saw a damsel in distress. Moved by a surge of misplaced empathy, Bill wielded his wealth and influence like a battering ram, smashing through legal barriers to secure not just house arrest for Luna, but a full pardon. Yes, you read that right, a complete erasure of her crimes, as if 2 murders and a kidnapping were mere parking tickets. What's even more bewildering is where Luna is now residing. Bill didn't just open the prison doors. He invited this dangerous woman into his own mansion, a gilded cage where she can roam freely under the guise of rehabilitation. Imagine the audacity of housing a proven killer under the same roof as his own family. For longtime viewers, Bill has always walked a fine line between hero and villain, but this decision feels like a plunge into unfathomable recklessness. Was it guilt from his own past misdeeds that drove him to play savior? Or did Luna weave a web of lies so convincing that even a man like Dollar Bill couldn't see through it? Whatever the reason, this isn't just a mistake, it's a disaster waiting to unfold, and the consequences could haunt the Spencer family for generations. Luna Nozawa, a predator unleashed. If you thought Luna might emerge from prison with a newfound sense of remorse, think again. During the dramatic week of May 26 to 30, 2025, Luna wasted no time proving that her dark nature remains untamed. Her first target? Electra Forrester, the girlfriend of Bill's son, Will Spencer Jr. A fiery confrontation between the 2 young women erupted, so intense that it required none other than Sheila Carter, of all people, to intervene on May 29. Sheila, a woman with her own notorious history, stepping in as the voice of reason, speaks volumes about the sheer volatility of Luna's behavior. But that clash was merely the tip of the iceberg. Luna's obsession soon took a sinister turn as she began sending provocative, longing messages to Will himself. Picture this: a young man, barely stepping into adulthood, being pursued by a woman who owes her freedom to his father, yet repays that kindness with predatory advances. As if that weren't chilling enough, Luna's malice reached new heights on May 30 when she approached Sheila with a proposition that sent shivers down the spine of every Forrester fan. Imagine how much simpler life would be if Steffi were out of the picture for good, she mused, her words dripping with intent. This isn't just idle gossip or a fleeting thought. Luna is plotting to eliminate Steffi Forrester once and for all, revisiting the unfinished business of her earlier crimes. The audacity to conspire against Steffi, a woman who has already suffered at her hands, reveals Luna's unapologetic thirst for destruction. With every move, she's painting a clearer picture of her true self, a leopard who not only refuses to change her spots but sharpens her claws for the next attack. Los Angeles is now her hunting ground, and no one is safe from her deadly gaze. Katie Logan's fury, a mother's desperate fight. Enter Katie Logan, a woman whose rage could power a volcano, and frankly, who can blame her? As Bill's ex and the mother of their son Will, Katie is watching her worst nightmare unfold in real time. The man she once loved and trusted has not only freed a convicted killer but welcomed her into the very space where their child resides. Luna's blatant fixation on Will, evidenced by those unsettling texts and her aggressive behavior toward Electra, has turned Katie's protective instincts into a roaring inferno. On May 29th, she poured her heart out to Will, likely pleading with him to steer clear of the danger that lurks within their own home. But how do you shield your child from a threat that sleeps under the same roof, courtesy of their father's incomprehensible decision? Katie's anger isn't just about betrayal, it's about survival. She knows Luna's history of poison and deceit, having seen firsthand the trail of bodies left in her wake. Every sip of coffee, every shared meal in the Spencer mansion now feels like a gamble with death. The tension between Katie and Bill is a ticking time bomb, and when it detonates, the fallout will be catastrophic. Will Katie take legal action to protect her son, or will she confront Luna directly in a clash of wills? One thing is certain, Katie Logan will stop at nothing to safeguard her family, even if it means waging war against the man who unleashed this nightmare. Her fury is a righteous flame, and it's only a matter of time before it scorches everyone in its path. The inevitable strike, Luna's next move. Let's cut to the chase. Luna Nozawa isn't a reformed character, nor is she on a path to redemption. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing, biding her time until the perfect moment to pounce. With Will Spencer Jr., Electra Forrester, and Steffi Forrester squarely in her crosshairs, the question isn't if she'll strike, but when and how. Her preferred method of murder, poison, adds an extra layer of terror to her presence. Remember how she took down Tom and Hollis with such chilling efficiency? Now, every glass of wine, every cup of tea in Los Angeles feels like a potential death sentence. Families at Forrester Creations and beyond are on edge, whispering warnings to check their drinks and guard their plates. Luna's return to society isn't a second chance, it's a second wave of terror. She's already demonstrated her knack for manipulation, turning Bill into an unwitting accomplice in her freedom. What's to stop her from charming others into lowering their defenses? And as her fixation on Will deepens, the danger to the Spencer heir becomes more tangible by the day. Meanwhile, Steffi's name on Luna's lips is a death knell, a reminder that old grudges die hard. The entire city is holding its breath, waiting for the moment Luna's calculated cruelty erupts again. When it does, the bloodstains will lead straight back to Bill Spencer's doorstep, a grim monument to his fatal error in judgment. Holding Bill accountable, a reckoning looms. So, who bears the blame when Luna's dark impulses claim another victim? The answer is painfully clear: Bill Spencer. This isn't about a simple lapse in judgment or a noble attempt to offer mercy. Bill didn't just facilitate Luna's release, he obliterated her criminal record with a pardon, handed her a luxurious safe haven, and effectively rolled out the red carpet for her next crime spree. If Will suffers harm, if Steffi meets a tragic end, or if Electra vanishes without a trace, the weight of those losses will fall squarely on Dollar Bill's shoulders. This isn't mere negligence, it's a betrayal of trust, a reckless endangerment of lives that could have been protected. The Forrester and Logan families have every right to demand accountability. Katie, in particular, may lead the charge, her maternal rage fueling a crusade for justice. Could we see lawsuits against Bill for his role in Luna's release? Or will the community shun him, turning the once powerful tycoon into a pariah? Fans of the show have witnessed countless scandals, but this saga feels uniquely personal, cutting to the core of family loyalty and moral responsibility. Bill may have believed he was saving Luna, but in doing so, he's endangered everyone he holds dear. When the inevitable tragedy strikes, will he beg for forgiveness, or will he double down on his disastrous gamble? One thing is certain, some mistakes carve scars too deep to heal, and Bill Spencer may never recover from the fallout of this catastrophic choice. The dark horizon of Los Angeles. As we wrap up this deep dive into the chaos unleashed by Bill Spencer's decision, the future of the bold and the beautiful looks bleaker than ever. Luna Nozawa roams free, her sinister intentions cloaked in a false veneer of gratitude, while the people of Los Angeles live under a shadow of fear. Will Spencer Jr. navigates a minefield of danger, caught between a predator's obsession and his family's fractured dynamics. Steffi Forrester, once a survivor of Luna's wrath, now faces a renewed threat that could end her story forever. And at the heart of it all stands Bill, a man whose well-meaning folly may cost him everything. The streets of LA are a ticking clock, each passing day bringing Luna closer to her next act of violence. Will Katie's warnings be enough to protect her son? Can the Forresters band together to outsmart a killer in their midst? And what will it take for Bill to see the monster he's unleashed? Stay tuned to BNB Spoilers channel as we continue to follow this gripping saga, where every choice has a price, and every shadow hides a deadly secret. Until next time, keep your loved ones close. And your drinks closer.